Hi, welcome in. I'm your Master Cosmologist here with a weekly forecast for the collective for the week of July 27th through August 2nd, 2026. The word that I channeled for all signs this week is the word regular. All right, just to recap here, we are working with magic throughout 2026. We just stepped into Sun in Leo, Earth in Aquarius, which is bringing on the energy of prime, primate, and primal. Was there anything else that was coming through with this? Prime, primal, primate, your prime mate, your number one mate, your lover, boy or girl. And then this week, this session, we have the word regular. I'll tell you a quick little story to give you the background of what's going on with this. I had a dream last night, and the dream was about having to work at an awful job and have an awful boss and to have awful coworkers and just wanting to be out of this environment. I was being regulated by someone else because I did not do self-regulation, and I had to go get a regular job, a normie job. It was a threat. It was like, if you don't get your shift together, you're gonna go and get a regular job. So if you don't want that, you better regulate. Now, we just had the South Node come off of the fixed star Regulus yesterday, which means that the South Node is now at 29 degrees of Leo, which is the former placement of Regulus, where most of us were born with that as Regulus, but now it's at 0 degrees of Virgo. So we just had that shift, that slide of the South Node off of Regulus. It's like, you better regulate, you better regulate, you better get really tough with yourself, or you're gonna have to forever work in Normieville, and that doesn't really sit with most anyone well. We all want to be self-employed. We all want to be able to run our own days, our own schedules. So you have to be regulable. You have to be able to be regulated. If you can't regulate yourself, someone else is going to have to regulate you. That's just how it works. That's just how it is. And you don't get to just be a rogue agent out there causing chaos or not really having any purpose. You kind of become a waste of space. So yeah, this is a week to really get on a regular schedule to avoid having to go get a regular job. You know exactly what to do to make money, to have that career, to run your own business. It takes mundane, regular ass effort. Which is funny because so many people who have been on the ascension path, we get very magical and we get very kind of like spoiled brat, like negative Leo energy, where we don't want to do anything anymore. And then we find out that we're broke and we don't fit in and we have no purpose and we're purposeless and we're aimless and blah, 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 blah. So you have to be regulable and you have to crack that whip on yourself to get a regular schedule under you. I'm just going to pull up the word regulate on my computer's dictionary here. We'll run through that. I've got this huge channeling stack here. I don't know why I'm pulling that out. It's too much. It's like a book report. In Latin, regulate is directed, regulated, from the verb regulare, which is to rule. This is self-rule. This is what we've been putting into practice for a very long time now. The sun in Leo is royal energy. So we've got this like sun at the beginning of Leo, and then we have the South Node at the end of Leo at 29 Leo, and they're going to conjoin at some point and have a lot to impact on us and say. But in the meantime, we really need to work on self-regulation. Regulate as a verb is to control or maintain the rate or speed, a machine or process of, as I said that too fast, it's like modulate the words, slow down, regulate. Because last week was composition, composure. So we're kind of blending those two right now. Our composure and our self-regulation are coming together. Let me say that again in a slowed down, composed way. As a verb, regulate means to control or maintain the rate or speed of a machine or process so that it operates properly. This is about self-modulation, stoking one's own fire. This is men's red fire. It was coming through as the Jungle Book and Prometheus energy, where you must be the stoker of your own internal fire. You must be the keeper of fire within you. You must be able to bring it down to embers so that you can sleep gently at day's end. And then you've got to be able to amp it up in the morning, usually through exercise, getting out in the sun, getting moving, having a regular schedule that promotes the rise of energy in the morning. If you don't have that, you will be sluggish and you won't function. Nobody gets out of that. Nobody gets out of that. You have to exercise, or else you'll be exercising demons forever. Trust me, even if you hate exercise, it's a lot more fun to exercise than to exercise. You don't want to have to do that forever. You can't do that forever. You die. Anywho, regulate also means to control or supervise something, especially a company or business activity, by means of rules and regulations. You must have your own rules and regulations in place, and you have to be the regulator of said rules and regulations. That's how the thing works. That's how you work as a solo entity, as an individuated, self-autonomous being. You have to lay down rules. You have to implement them. You have to follow them. You have to enforce them. It also means to set a clock or other apparatus according to an external standard. This is going to rub so many spiritual people the wrong way, but you have to have a clock. I feel like truly what works really well is to have about 75% of your time well scheduled, and then the rest of it to be happenstance, chance, adventure, see where it goes, snooze, don't get up to an alarm. But you know, there's something here about setting a clock, getting on a regular circadian rhythm that actually works for you. This doesn't have to be anyone else's regular schedule, circadian rhythm. This is unique to you, but you do have to figure out what works for you and then stick to it. There's something about regulating your circadian rhythm by being very regular here and not wavering too much, because you're going to keep throwing yourself off and having to reset yourself. It's much easier to generally stick to this regular schedule. We're going to be stepping into a lot of energy moving into Virgo. We're going to see Jupiter enter Virgo later in the year. We're going to have a bunch of planets move into Virgo. 911 on the clock there. That's getting us to really wrap up the end of the age of planning. We've got like a year and a half-ish there to get this kind of all tidied up and put a nice bow on it. So that emphasis on Virgo coming up here is like, you better get yourself Virgo'd. You better get yourself regular. Ooh. Yeah, some of you need to get regular in the downstairs department still. We're not going to go there. That's kind of nasty, but it came up. Anyway, it means in Latin, directed, regulated, and to rule. Let's go to Regulation. Okay, so the word regulation is also coming up with this, where there's something about, I'm seeing an actual referee wearing black and white stripes. That's really Piscean. I like that. And he's blowing the whistle. It's like, you've gotten too white, you've gotten too black. It's like you've gone too far to one extreme or the other, and he's going to blow the whistle like flagrant, foul, flagrant, that's a hard word to say. Flagrant, foul. And he'll call you out on it by blowing the whistle. It's like, you know, when you are not regulating yourself properly, you're getting too amped up, you're burning the candle on both ends. These are Leo qualities where you can go into burnout really, really easily, but this Earth in Aquarius is here to help us modulate that and regulate that properly. That's according to our own constitution. You know, if you thrive in a lot of fire, then by all means, that's your baseline. 1111 was where that hit too. If you're a manifester, that would be a big no-no. If you're a projector, that would be a big no-no. You need that more yin chill. Regulate yourself. Regulate yourself. Like, you don't need anybody else to tell you anymore. Let's pull cards. I'm trying to think if anything else came through this morning. Actually, let's peek, because there seems like there was one element that I'm missing. Maybe I'll just bring it up later. Regular, regulator. Oh, I'm being told to go down regular. All right, this is gonna be a little bit longer video than I hoped. Regular, let's read the definition together. I'm gonna handhold you a little bit here because I think it's important. As an adjective, it means arranged in or constituting a constant or definite pattern, especially with the same space between individual instances. So that would be like regularity. Of a structure or arrangement arranged in or constituting a symmetrical or harmonious pattern. This is about having symmetry and harmonious patterns. It's like complementary rest, work, having harmonious patterns, like daily rhythms that actually work for you. Regular in a flower is having radial symmetry. Basically what that means is like a composite flower where it's a typical flower instead of it being one with odd shaped petals, right? So I think what that is pertaining to is kind of the zodiac wheel. It's like having all of those radial pie pieces rather equal. Regular is recurring at uniform intervals. This has to do with big overarching synchrometer yearly things that you do, that you know you're going to do throughout the year, every year, scheduling them ahead of time. This would be like the Sabbats. This would be like if you like to channel on a certain day that's important to you. If you like to take a sabbatical from time to time, like putting that on your schedule and doing it regularly and making sure that you be that boss person that ensures that that happens for you, or else you're going to be miserable or you're going to be out of whack. It says done or happening frequently, of a person doing the same thing or going to the same place frequently or at uniform intervals, basically being a regular visitor to something, someplace. That might be personally important right now to have some routine like that. Of a person, going number 2, let's just, they used a different word that sounded really yucky. Yeah, so that actually is interesting that that came up. So going number 2, or menstruating at predictable times. I feel like that is saying that there is irregularity, and some of you might need to focus on herbal support or flower essence support, or that your body's rhythms are off because you don't have regularity in your life in other places as within, so without kind of thing here. It's like when you get regular, things will get regular. Conforming to or governed by an accepted standard or procedure or convention. That would have to do with policies. I'm going to skip some of these because it gets way too detailed. One of the things that is interesting is belonging to a religious or monastic order, because we are being relegioned right now to a natural spirituality. So some things that are unnatural are going to have to be let go of because they aren't harmonious or supportive any longer. It says used, done, or happening on a habitual basis, usual, customary, not special. So some of this is really harping on the mundane thing. It's like these regular patterns, these regular routines, these regular things that you do over and over and over again, they are actually what adds up to the big magic. It's not just presto changeo, winning the lottery, having something huge happen to you overnight in the blink of an eye. It's more like, yeah, you gotta go do that thing every single day. Like if you train your biceps every day, guess what? You're gonna have guns. That kind of thing. It's not so spectacular, you know. Magic actually is very ordinary. The Magician card is about manipulating reality and lifting like weight training every single day and doing the ding ding thing every single day. It's a practice that you do every day that adds up and accumulates over time. Let's see. Skipping stuff that's too minutia there. As a noun, a regular customer or member, for example, of a bar, store, or team, a regular member of the armed forces, a member of a political party who is faithful to that party. I feel like that is angelic in nature, that last one there. Okay, so basically to rule over oneself and to have rules is where we're going with that. And then let me just take a look-see here. Oh, yes. About priming and stoking your internal flame, your internal fire on a regular basis. We kind of touched on that a little, but I want to emphasize it because it came through very prominently, very powerfully today. I did a video last week. I took it down because I went through like a rage deletion in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was about menopause and about the spells cast over women to pause us, and that some of you may be experiencing hot flashes in the form of, no, we're not pausing ourselves any longer. We're actually charging ourselves up. We're stoking our fire. We're continuing. We're choosing to go on and on and on. And these hot flashes are life force regenerating, life force infusing, as I like sparkle, hand sparkle all over the unk here. How important it is to be out in the sun, be out in nature on a regular basis. How important it is to dance at sunrise and praise the sun and connect to the elements, the wind, the water, the minerals, the plants. This keeps you synchronized with all of nature. It means you're harmonious It also puts you on this regular schedule that's actually kind of regulated by the synchrometer, by the stars, by bigger forces than just your to-do list. The more you can connect to that and tap into that, you're going to get into this kind of, it's going to be interesting because it's going to be very new. You're going to get into a pattern of regularity that has a lot of variance and ability to shift and divert, and you'll just know from now on. It's like, well, I planned to do this, it was on my regular schedule, but I really know I need to kind of do this today. And that's one of those moments where that's not actually like dilly-dallying or talking yourself out of it. It's actually listening to your gut and going with the flow. It's being in the divine river. All right, I think that was kind of it. End transmission of the notes. Let's pull 2 cards, call it good, and then I feel caught up. Because one of the things that's coming through personally is that I'm supposed to do this for the public on a regular basis, and when I don't, I get this constipation backlog thing that I've got going here. If I had put this out 2 days ago, it would have been succinct. Now it's a little long. Okay. Shush. Shush. Notes to self. We have 44 Fox almost there. To me, it's giving off, you're really close to having it together. You're really close to having this really tidy for yourself. So any little hiccups, any little bumps, they're going to come up this week. You're going to see it. It's kind of like a pimple. It's like soothe that zit and get this little speed bump straightened out, and you're going to be in a nice flow. The fox here is indicating some tricky natures within the self, where you're still kind of tricking yourself, or you're kind of tripping yourself up over this little speed bump here, where you have to catch yourself, or else you're going to end up in that trap over and over again. It's tricky. It's trickster energy. It's mercurial. We have Mercury coming out of shadow. So, you know, you probably have Mercury getting out of shadow to kind of clear up the blemishes, clear up those zits there, kind of smooth out the pavement, so to speak. Oh, the Lovers. Yeah, I feel like this is telling me that you really got to get that trickiness in check. You're going to catch the bad guy, and the good guy's got to like get on his case, and then vice versa. It's like good and evil have to work together for your benefit, for your best interests. Meaning you'll know when to be kind of evil to yourself and be that regulator. Nah, 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 nah. And also when the regulator's getting too heavy-handed and being penal and mean, and the easygoing guy's got to be like, hey, knock it off, cut it out, it's too severe. I think that's actually a nice way to end the message there. We'll leave it at that, and I'll see you on another one. Bye, guys.